When in reality, like you're talking about Africa, South Africa, your friend tonight, but you travel around, whether it be Australia or here, where are you seeing God doing some really cool things, and you see a movement of God, and maybe tell us a little bit about that, what you're traveling around and seeing.
Sure. Unfortunately, I haven't traveled to a lot of the places where I think a lot of the really great movement is happening right now.
Yeah.
But in the places that I've traveled to, especially South Africa is one that really sticks out for me. I traveled a lot of townships. I stayed there actually for about a 2-month period. I lived in a Bible college, and I just played anywhere that anyone wanted me to play it in. I have a fee, I didn't have CDs, I didn't have anything. And I played a lot of prisons, I played a lot of townships. And when I went into those places, it was amazing to see, and I guess they're so dark that the gospel, the light of the gospel is so bright in those places. It just, I don't know, awe is the only word I can think of that will kind of describe what it was like to see brothers and sisters who had nothing. And I mean nothing. Some of these prisoners that I met in South Africa, when they get released from prison, they take back their prison clothes before they are pushed out the gate. And a lot of them don't even have clothes when they leave the gate. So they actually leave the prison naked, and the government doesn't do anything. There's no kind of halfway home or let's get you plugged back into society. If you don't have any relations on the outside, you're on your own. These guys would come up to me and they would tell me about how much they love Jesus and what he means to them. I met one guy who had been in a prison fire in the kitchen, and he had most of his face burnt off. His nose and his ears were missing, and his lips and his fingers had been burnt off. And it was atrocious. He was atrocious to look at. But he started to talk to me about his love for Jesus, and how Jesus is everything to him, and how thankful he is for Jesus. And I've got to tell you, it is probably the only time I've been so humbled that I've had to weep. Because here's a guy with nothing, and yet he has everything. I guess meeting people like that in parts of the world where the gospel is so beautiful to them, because when you compare it to everything else, it just shines, you know. And it makes me a bit bummed out for America, and it makes me bummed out for Australia, because we have so much, right? You know, and we associate so much other stuff with being a Christian, that oftentimes the beauty of the gospel, the beauty of Jesus, kind of just loses its shimmer a little bit. We can look elsewhere and see something that we can perceive to be just as good. And in Australia, that's led to like 3% of people go to church on a Sunday morning. That's what our average is.